if you had the power to change things, I mean literal power, not necessarily physical, but literal power, would you destroy people in the earth, or would you choose peace? That is the question that many of us who think about things like this will ask ourselves. Would we do the right thing? Would we become like the others that has went amok and that has chosen to actually destroy this planet? If given the chance that you have been given power, not just physical, but powers beyond any type of understanding, what will you do in a situation like that? Will you use it for good, or will you use it to destroy? And I think that's a bigger question a lot of people need to ask within themselves, because it revealed the true nature of who you are. And we all need to reevaluate that. I was watching What If. Now, I've watched What If like since it came out. But last night really, really got to me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this one, from my understanding, I have never heard of this person before, but this one is new. And the person's name is, this is about a Native American girl, and her name is, I gotta find it, Kahori. And it goes all the way back to what, I'm not gonna go into too many details, but it's dealing with, if you never watched it, it's on Disney. It's dealing with Marvel comics. It's just do a different adaptation about what if this, what if they did this, what if they do it that, or whatever. But this is a new character with this girl called Kahori. And the Tesseract, after Ragnarok, in this What If, got sent back way back during the time of the conquistadors. And that's how, and it got sent back and basically created a portal, is what it did in this secret place. And I don't know how long it was there. I'm guessing for some time, because a lot of her people came in contact with it. They literally got sent into this other place. They heard about this forbidden waters, basically what it was. And the conquistadors called it the Fountain of Youth. So that's how it ties in about the legend of the Fountain of Youth, because this place where they would go to it, literally they would stay young forever because they didn't age. It kept them young, to where they didn't age because of the Tesseract powers, which they didn't know anything about the Tesseract or anything, because you got to understand that's from Jotunheim and Loki's, the Tesseract. So they didn't know anything about that. But it gave them powers in this place to where they can do things and all this kind of stuff. Well, when their people literally came in contact with it, they would go through this portal, which they didn't know. And they call it like the sky people. They call them like the sky people. Take them to the sky, like the sky people. And they would go to this place, and they weren't there long. They would develop, like their eyes would change. They would develop powers and all this kind of stuff. And when the conquistadors came, that's what happened to Kahori. They shot her when she was defending her brother, and she fell into this pool where the Tesseract was, and she went into the dimension where the ancestors were, but they weren't dead. They were actually alive. I want to get that straight. They were not dead. They were actually alive, because whenever you fall through that, you just go to another place, basically. But they didn't know that, but and they don't age, they don't, none of that. And so that's what happened to her. And I'm not going to tell anymore, basically, but that's what happened to her, and she developed things. But anyway, while she was there, I'm just going to throw out key points of it. And what really, really got me about this story is because of whoever came up with it. I'm going to tell you right now, is it's like, this first time I saw a cartoon like this, really, that made me cry because of what was said. And she tried to get out of the place. And the guy was like, look, people have tried, but nobody's got out. And it's like day by day, she would really try to get out. And nobody really would. they just kind of gave up, and it was like a peaceful place and harmony and all that kind of stuff, like really serene. You know what I'm saying? Things they have to worry about, nothing, whatever, whatever. But you got to remember, she just came back where her village was being destroyed. They had taken her brother captive, like all this kind of stuff. So she was worried about her brother and what was happening to her people back home, even though those were her people there. She was worried about what was going on with her people back home. So she was ready to get back home. And it was a certain point to where she was talking to them, and even for her or whatever, the powers had got advanced there, and she was there for a short period of time when they was there for a long time. And it's like her powers had I guess, I don't know, quadruple, whatever. But and I think it has something to do with who she is, her heart, straight, like everything. That's just my thing. I think it has everything to do with who she is, like her strength, like everything, like who she is. And she said something to them, and this is what got me, whatever. She told them as they were gathering around, and the elders and everything, because they were so complacent about what they was. And they didn't want to go back. They didn't want to leave, because she was gathering people together. And she was like, hey, you want to go back or whatever, this, that. Nobody wanted to go, because they was used to being serene, like in a place, you know what I'm saying, not worried about war or nothing like that. She said, these waters sent you here. The spirit in this land made you strong and gave you gifts. But you have become too comfortable. You've forgotten your origins. But I can't. And when she said that, it's like something I got punched in the chest, and I was like, oh God. And she said, now our people are hurting. I want to help all my people. And she said, you will be stuck here if you don't learn to move. And I said, my God. And that it hit me hard. It's like I got punched. And I was like, that, like, people don't understand, like, on so many levels, that is a word in itself. Like, and I understood what she's saying, because there are times, even and it's not just even about your people per se or whatever, and it can be about your family members or whatever, because you can get people in your life that be so complacent about where they are in life, and even if they have moved to a certain point, they're like, oh, everything's fine, but you looking around and you be like, but what about them? They're not. See, she was thinking about her brother, her families back at home in the village. They were going, it was war. They was getting ready to be destroyed, displaced, and everything for generations to come. But they was sitting in a comfortable place. You see what I'm saying? They didn't have nothing to worry about. They was taken care of. But she was thinking about back home, and now, but they wanted her to forget her past, and she wasn't having it. You get what I'm saying? Because the thing is, if you don't learn from everything, if you forget it, things are going to keep repeating itself. So if she would allow it to just sit there or whatever, and it would just keep on happening. And that was the difference. That's what turned off. That's why this was called What If, because the Tesseract got sent there and she got it. Because in the other one, like, that's why you have never heard, quote unquote, that's why you've never heard of her, because she didn't exist. She actually got, things happen. The people got, what happened in when they go in, the conquistadors go in and, rape, pillage, and do all that kind of stuff. That's why you never heard of it. But in the story, What If, you heard of it because of the Tesseract. And what happened with her people, they became powerful people because of the Tesseract and was able to defend their people. But the thing is that's what happened. Ultimately, like I said, I would say go watch it, because ultimately she was able to convince her people to actually help their people. And they did. And she was able to do that and create, and actually went after the Queen of Spain and got her, kind of like forced her into a treaty, because honestly, she could have destroyed her, but she didn't. And that is the point. What will you do if you had the power to change things? And that's what came to mind. Like, what would you do if you had the power? Because think about it. The powers from Jotunheim and even Loki, like, what I'm saying, they use it. He's the trickster god. They use it to destroy. They don't use it to create, and they actually can create and do good things with it. But her and her people used it for good. Think about it. And No mind, I can't spoil the ending. I cannot say what happened at the end. But anyway, anyway. But the thing about it is, that's the thing. What if you had the power to change things? What would you do? And it's not only like physical, like, you know what I'm saying, like you need power like that. Think about your voice. Like, if you could change things in the world for the better and your voice could do it, would you do it for good or would you actually promote evil? And that's the thing. I've seen a lot of people promoting things that are evil. They have the platform, they have the voice, but they are using it inappropriately. And that is the point. You do have the power to change things, but you're not changing it for the good. You're changing it for the worse. And that's the point.